I think it's like we usually do it last 20-some games here, just to see how it's moving, and it's good for them to know because I mean we look at it, right? Sometimes I don't know if all the players look at it. I think some of them do. So it's important to see where we're at.
It's not much margin for error right now. I mean, how do you start cracking the whip a little bit this time of the year to really emphasize how important every game is?
Well, I don't think we have to. I think they know. For us, it's been about the process all year. It's still about the process, but now the outcome does have a little bit more impact in games for sure, and they're aware of it.
Especially impacting last week, winning 2 out of 3, both of those in overtime. How much does a week like that help after a few weeks of, you guys were on the road, maybe not playing your best hockey, and then to bounce back the way you did?
Well, I think considering that we've had so many new guys and so many different lineups in the last month, I think it was really good for us to kind of settle in with some line combinations. It was D pairs that found a rhythm in the last week here.
On top of that, Isaak was saying, these guys are starting to gel a little bit after quite a few roster moves here. Guys were looking around like, where'd everyone go? But, finally starting that consistency here late in the year. What's that like for you as the coach to find that consistency in the best lines here as we get going down the late stretch? Well,
that's the challenge, right? But it's a good challenge because we have some good players, and just a matter of finding who fits with who and who complements each other. And obviously, it continues to evolve here as we go through. But like I said earlier, I think that was a big thing from the past week, that we did find some pairs or lines that we felt gelled well together.
Talk about what David Gust has brought to this team so far this season and the way his game has maybe matured throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, I think he's taken his game to a different level. I mean, knowing him for a long time, but even seeing him last year, winning last year, I think taught him a lot. I think that coming into this season, his offensive game has really, taken another step to another level. I think he's been huge in terms of showing the guys how to, when the game's on the line, what's important. I think, for example, him and Phillips' first shift last game, the way they set the tone in that shift kind of shows everybody this is how we need to play, and then the rest of the guys followed. So, yeah, it's been really, really important for our group to have him play the way he is.
We're going to speak with Adams-Moisan in just a minute, but he was playing with his usual edge last week, maybe more so than normal. How important is it to have a guy like that on the team? And do you need somebody who now and then is going to just step up and show that physical, hey, we're going to rattle some cages here a little bit?
Yeah, I thought that's been a big part of his game, right? I thought the game at home against Manitoba, that was the difference in the game, and where one of our guys got kind of hit a little blindside, and he stepped up for his teammates, and it changed the momentum in the game, right? And I think last game as well, just we weren't happy with our pushback on Friday, and Saturday we showed that we weren't going to tolerate it, and he was a big part of that.
So games are tending to get a little more physical down the stretch here, I would assume. So do you welcome that? Do you want to see a little more of that pushback here?
Well, we do. I mean, for sure. I mean, this is the time of the year when that really starts showing up, right? And the games are tighter, they're checked tighter, there's not as much space and not as much time on the ice, so you have to be able to play through that, and the battle level has to be raised. And again, Saturday we did that, and we had a lot of success with it.
C2 against Manitoba, a team that you've had some success against this year. What are some ways to capitalize against the matchup and get those 4 points that are much needed here?
Yeah, I mean, it's game by game. It's a good team, structured team, heavy team. We have to find a way to get on the inside against them. We have to find a way to create some zone time to get them, fatigued and get good looks that way.
What's the pressure like right now as you try to get into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun time of the year. I think everyone's really aware of where we are, and I mean, we've got the standings up in the room every day. You're checking. I think after every game, you're checking the scores to see what the other teams in the division are winning or losing. But it's really fun, and we're excited to push for the playoffs.
What do you think of all the moves that were made, all the new teammates you have? How's everybody kind of adjusting and meshing together so far?
Yeah, it was a bit of an adjustment for sure. Like the first couple of weeks, you're looking around the room, you're like, whoa, where'd everyone go? But, now I think we've settled in really well, and you can just tell in practices we're starting to gel. And even the last game there, we're sticking together, playing like a full 60 minutes. And I think that's really big for our confidence.
You mentioned, after every game you're checking divisions and stuff like that, but last week obviously 2 wins against 2 divisional opponents. What did that do for confidence, especially after coming off losing 5 out of 6 the week prior?
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. I think for us, it's just about, I think we know how good we are. It's just about figuring everything out. As we said, we got a lot of new guys. And it's just like staying together, not getting frustrated. I mean, we know we have the group, and it's just like not turning on each other, just sticking with it, and we know things will turn around.
You yourself obviously spent some time up in Chicago. What was that like in bringing your knowledge back down here with some of those new faces and getting them to gel with you guys down here?
Yeah, I mean, that was big for my confidence. I think I learned a lot up there in the 15-something games I had. And yeah, come down and play with a lot of confidence. I don't think I have to come down and do anything crazy or do anything special, but just be a leader, lead by example on the ice, and just hopefully, it rubs off on everyone.
We're going to talk to Adams-Moisan here in a minute, and he mixed it up a couple of times this past week. Does that kind of light a fire under the rest of you guys when you see him playing with that kind of an edge out there?
Yeah, I mean, in the last couple weeks, he's really elevated his game. I mean, it's been a big spark plug for us, and then when he drops it, everyone gets excited. He's a big boy. So, I mean, that fourth line was really big for us last game especially.
On the subject of Morgan, around this time last year, we saw a lot, just gets more physical and, you have to be an extra step faster and things like that. Do you notice the level of play just elevates this time of year, more physical, more faster, whatever it may be?
100%. I mean, you saw Gusty, I think, throw 4 big hits last game. So, yeah, I think everybody, like Andres let us know, it's playoff hockey. You got to finish on guys. You don't have to blow anyone up, but just get in their way, slow them up. And I think that was huge for us. We need to have that identity that you're going to come into our rink and it's going to be a hard-fought game. So, yeah.
A couple against Manitoba, coming up 3-2 against them on the year. What is exciting about this upcoming matchup? The points that you guys need here down the stretch?
Yeah, those are big 4 points up for grabs. They're a really good team, really structured. So I think we just need to come out the same way, like a full 60, doing the right things, being physical, but really exciting, and just want to get out there and play those games.
I'd say both. First game, it was when the guy went after our D-man, Crevier, so that was a so-so hit. So after that, I went after the guy, and then last game, we lost the game on Friday and Saturday. We had to bounce back, so I felt that it would have helped, and the outcome of the game sure was on our side, so we're really happy about that.
You have logged a few PIMs in the last few years. How big of a part of your game do you view that as? And are you afraid maybe takes some of the shine off the rest of your game, that people are always looking at the physical side of you, not what else you can do?
No, for sure. I mean, it's a big part of my game. I'm there mostly to be physical, defend the guys, and play defensively. So for sure, I take pride in all 3 aspects of the game. And if I get some offensive stats on top of that, for sure, I'll be happy with it. But I'm going to focus on my main game and bring what I can to the team and help for that playoff run.
And a lot of guys on this team, really credited you for bringing intensity, bringing a fire, and just energy. And, perfect example, Wednesday after that fight, you guys get 2 goals real quick right afterwards. What is it about this time of year that you need to have someone or a few people bring that intensity so that it leads to offense and more production like that?
Well, after Christmas, the game changes a lot. So basically, it's almost like playoff time. So the game is way more physical, the game's tighter, so it's harder to get points. So for sure, the physical aspect from it is really important. So I try to bring it, and the guys answered back with after that fight, especially with those 2 goals, like you said. So no, we had a great game collectively, and we try to build on that for the next couple of games coming up.
How aware are you guys of where you stand in the playoff race? How closely are you monitoring that?
For sure, we keep a close eye because the 4th and 5th place are having a play-in to play the 1st position. So those 2 positions, the 4th and the 5th, are really important because the 4th have the home advantage for all 3 games. So we for sure monitor that, but we keep in mind that we have to focus on our game. Everybody has to do what they have to, and if we do so and follow the game plan, good things are going to happen.
A lot of new pieces were added to the team at the trade deadline. How do you feel like they're fitting in? How are things meshing together right now?
At first, it all began during that Canada trip in Toronto. So trade deadline was there. For sure, there was a lot of movement amongst our team. But now we can see that guys are gelling together, new lines and new personnel and new opportunities also for some guys that got called up. So some guys that are here have bigger roles. So no, it's really exciting, and if we continue like that, we're going to put ourselves in a good spot for the playoffs.
Made quite an impact with your first goal as an IceHog on Wednesday. How did it feel getting that game winner there against Manitoba?
No, it was great. It's a huge win for our team. You know, every point matters right now, and you know we're in a dogfight to get in the playoffs. We're in a dogfight to try to move up the standings. You know, get home ice. You know, try to not have to play in that original first round or play-in round, whatever they call it. So no, it was a big win for our team.
How exciting is it when you're trying to make that playoff push? You know, every game is critical, every point is critical. I mean, when you wake up in the morning, what's kind of the feeling?
It's great. I mean, I think I was just telling this to someone the other day, but I think it's been like 6 years in a row that I haven't played meaningful games at the end of the year. Whether that's because I think 2 years we were already out of the playoffs, 2 years I was hurt, 1 year I was scratched. Like it was just I think it's in 6 years in a row. So it's nice for me personally because I feel like it's almost been my whole pro career. I haven't been able to play a lot of meaningful games. So it means a lot to me to be here, especially when you're thinking, we're not going to make the playoffs in San Diego, and then all of a sudden things change. So it's a fun time of year. The games get more intense. As you saw against Colorado, it was a big boys game, and it was a lot of fun to play in. And it's going to be even harder. Every game coming up.
When is the last time you personally played in a playoff game?
It was in the COVID year, I guess the play-in round during the whatever they call it, the lock. What do they call it? They locked us all in. Yeah, the bubble. There you go. Yeah, they bubbled us up. Yeah, I played some bubble hockey.
And just what is it like? Like you said, you were sitting in San Diego. You thought, oh, we have a handful of games left here, and then all season will be over. But how fun is it to be in a group like this that is trying and doing everything they can to move up the ranks right now? No,
it's great. I feel like me personally, like just being there in San Diego and knowing you're not gonna make the playoffs, like I always have something to play for. Maybe some guys might check out. You see guys throughout the year sometimes teams out and they kind of just check out. But I prided myself on never being someone like that. You always have something to play for, whether that's the rest of that year, whether that's for the next year, whether that's for another team, whether that's for your team. So I always, had something to play for. So I was just expecting to play. I think we had 15 games left when I got traded. That I was going to play extremely well. I was going to do the best that I can. Keep building chemistry with, DeLeo just came back from injury and we were having some success. So I was going to try to have fun the rest of the year with him, and then got a chance to play for to playoff hockey, and it was great. I did not expect it and was surprised. So now I get to play for more than just playing for next year. I can play for this year.
And outside of just playing for this year, what's been the adjustment like? Obviously, coming over here, being one of many new faces in this locker room, what's that been like for you personally to adjust to a new locker room?
It's been super easy. Like, it's the second time I've been traded, but the first time I've been traded in season. So this is new for me. It's nice that I'm not the only guy. There's been a lot of new guys and new faces, and there's a lot of us staying at the hotel together, which is nice. Not by yourself. But it's been good. It's been super easy. They treat you extremely well here. They give you everything that you could ever ask for off the ice, just to make sure you're taking care of your bodies, getting the right food and drinks, and it's been top notch. And I couldn't be happier to be here.
Do you feel like you're up to speed now on the ice and knowing your teammates, what they want to do, how they play, or is it still a learning curve every day that you get out there on the ice?
I've picked up some things, but I'm still learning. Because we still had so many guys going in and out of the lineup, coming up and down, and it's been so weird. It's almost like we still haven't had a full team since I've been here. We're still missing 4 or 5 guys or whatever it is. So I'm still learning you guys' tendencies, trying to figure out their games, 5-on-5, penalty kill, power play. I'm sure they're still trying to figure me out too. So it's just, that comes with time. Maybe it's more than a few games. Maybe it's 5 or 6 games. So, each day, each practice, trying to learn, trying to figure each other out, and hopefully we can keep building chemistry as we go forward.
And how nice is it to see, the past 2 wins you guys had, both overtime wins, really having to battle and really play what felt like truly playoff hockey. What about this group in seeing those overtime wins makes it feel like you guys can either rise up the ranks or make a deep run in the Calder Cup?
Yeah, well, I think if we look at the game Friday, like we played okay for a portion of it, but then they kind of just took it to us. I feel like they outbattled us. Obviously outchanced us, but they outbattled us, which is unacceptable for a team fighting for their lives. I thought they won every puck battle. I thought they kind of manhandled us in a lot of the areas of the game, and so you know, sometimes you have those games, and to me, it's like, okay, it's, you know, it's not acceptable, but it's one game. It's how you respond to the next game, and I liked, you know, our group's effort. We came out, and I thought we kind of did it to them. I thought we outchanced them, we outcompeted and outbattled them. You know, to me, if a guy has a bad game or a team has a bad game, it's like, yeah, it's, you know, that shouldn't happen, but it happens. But it's how do you respond? If there's no response, then there's a problem. If there's a response, then, you know, that shows you that you're a team that's built to go deep, and, you know, hopefully that's what we have here.